The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondel.
I just look at life from a different view. All them nights I was getting through my set of eyes, take a look at life from a different view. Seen a lot of life I'm still living through.
Hey everybody, you're on the Stage Door Show tonight. This is Dave Hondel, making his third appearance on our show. He was there when it first started. Hip Hop Lyricist Jimmi EZz. Jimmy, man, how you doing? Good to have you back.
What's up, man? What's up, Dave? What's up, baby? What's up, world?
So, man, you've been on the show 3 times. This is your third appearance on my show, and one thing I got to tell everybody, all my listeners, that what I'm so impressed with you is, as an independent artist, that every time you have something new, you always contact the show to come on. And even though you have a management team, you do a lot of this stuff on your own as well. So, tell everybody out there, man, how to work that, because we're in a pandemic right now. People can't perform, and you got to do what you got to do to get your name out there, right?
Oh yeah, man. Definitely, once you on all platforms, all music, your distribution is all the way together. You know what I mean? Most of the time, it becomes, it becomes a kind of like an internet thing, a marketing thing. It becomes, you can't just stop there. You know what I mean? It's a lot to be doing. Like, and trust me, I'm not perfect. I'm not doing everything right now. I got all these great songs out. I really don't have any videos. You know what I mean? So I'm not doing everything right. But at the same time, you gotta make sure you're being heard constantly, man. You gotta stay productive. That's for the most part. You just gotta stay productive, man. You gotta keep working.
Did you ever think that we would be almost a year into this pandemic and we still can't go out there and do anything? I mean, did you ever think that it would be this long?
No, I kind of the pandemic. It gets in the way of certain things that you want to do. And there'll be a good look for you, but it's like, you can't. Like me personally, I never let anything get in my way. I kind of see it a little different, But yeah, the pandemic has, it has messed me up too. I can't lie. It really has, and most of the time, you just got, like I said, you just got to stay productive. It's not about you. Letting the pandemic get in the way. You know what I mean?
Well, some good things have come out of this pandemic. I mean, you've had a few songs you've released. In fact, one of them, a brand new one called "Different View." So tell us about that one.
Oh yeah, man. That's definitely it's definitely one of those for me, man. Like I listen to that song about 50 times a day. I can't lie to you. You know what I mean? I listen to that song at least 50 times a day. So. Yeah, that's my jam too, man. That's that joint right there. I like the smoothness of it, the jazzy. I like that jazzy stuff. You know what I mean? I'm a real jazzy person. So with the saxophone behind my voice, I really was feeling that one. I can't lie, I really was feeling that one, man. The lyrics, the bars in that joint, they really, they kind of go over people's heads, and I get phone calls about them. Like, yo, I can't believe you said this, or I can't believe you said that, man. You said that, like you really said that. You know what I mean? I like how you said that. So, I get calls about that song every day. Damn near like every hour, man. I can't lie. You know what I mean? I got a lot of feedback on that one song. Also, my song Confirmation that's out right now. I took in consideration that I've been quiet a little bit. Like I said, due to the pandemic, but like I still been marketing around and, still doing my thing. I just been quiet a little bit more quieter because I feel like, well, hey, I can work harder now. I can write more music. I can get my music together. Since something wants to get in my way, I'm going to go ahead and go around it. You know what I mean? You got to work ways around it. But, yeah, Different View was definitely it was a moment for me, especially in the studio. When I was in the studio and I was recording that song, Dave, man, I was feeling it. I was really feeling it. And that's my kind of, that beat and that type of vibe is my cup of tea to drink from. As far as, like, me being original, that's it right there. You know what I mean?
that doesn't come along too often either. I mean, when you have situations like that, when you have a song that just, you know, you vibe to right away, and you know that it's gonna do something out there. People are gonna love it, and you know, it's kind of what we call a perfect storm. And sometimes that doesn't always come along. So when it does, I mean, you got to make the most of it. And I think you did with this song. So all the listeners, you know, this is one of those things you got to go out and download like right away, like right now. So definitely a great vibe to that tune. And you know, talk about that song though. I mean, talk about where'd you come up with that song? I mean, how did you think about that, and how did you write it?
I gotta be honest with you. That song was a little bit more easier to write, being that I could be the lyricist that I am. You know what I mean? First and foremost, like what made me start doing music was the lyrics. I just like being a lyricist, man. Like I have a fetish with putting words together and metaphors and similes and stuff like that. So it's like with that type of beat, like you said it, man, it's hard. It's hard to find the perfect beat. Like, I mean, and when I say perfect, it's not like perfect. When I mean like perfect, it's like you know, what fits your caliber, what fits your way of putting your music into something that you would like and you know that the world would like. You know what I mean? It was like one of those songs to me, like I knew I would like it.
I just look at life from a different view. All them nights I was getting through my set of eyes, take a look at life from a different view. Seen a lot of life I'm still living through. If she vibrant, I don't even gotta touch her and she feels something. I've been going hard for a minute, that's how I'm still coming. I'm still me, more life, more success in my life. I just look at life from a different view. I always had 20/20 vision, never even needed glasses. The way I learned from mistakes, you think I never needed class. Heavy in the bag, ready for the cash. I'm that bird that you copped that was showered and wasn't bath. Niggas washed up. It's ironic how I get tired of hearing myself talk, but I never ever get tired of hearing my own thoughts. I feel deeper than different, I see right through smoky mirrors, blowing smoke while the smoke gets thicker. I'll be there when the smoke clears up. Put the pictures that I paint in the frame, a blind man and see him clear.
But now it's showing me that people still listen to lyrics. Like I like that. I like that, and that's the perfect beat. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the perfect. Me looking at life from a different view. I mean, through my set of eyes. I mean, so it's definitely. It's definitely one of those, man. Y'all gotta go cop that, man. I mean, you heard Dave tell you to go cop that.
Yeah, you do. But you know, you call yourself a lyricist. That's something that's gonna raise a few, ears out there and make people listen and hear what you're all about. And the fact that you have, some jazz fusion in there and some of your, like you said, the saxophone. I don't hear a lot of, hip hop artists out there using those types of instrumentals. So I think that's another way that you can, set yourself apart from the others out there, from all the different streaming platforms.
Right. Most definitely. And speaking on that, man, I kind of got a lot of, people hear good sounds in the music. It seems like ever since I started this saxophone, like I kind of stamped it to my name with the J and how I was creative about it. I do hear a couple artists using the saxophone. I ain't gonna say nothing, but it's cool, but I'm not all the way mainstream. So it's like a couple things, people will snatch and grab and, make different ideas, but great minds think alike. So I'm not downing anybody, but ever since I started this little saxophone thing and I started stamping it with the J in my name and all of that, being real creative, it's been some change. I've been hearing some people come out with a little saxophone in their music, you know what I'm saying? And people will actually think I'm stealing from somebody. I actually made it up. You can actually tell.
Yeah, talk about that though. I mean, being not being mainstream, and because I've heard this from several artists now since you and I first talked about that same thing, about just being yourself and being who you are, and you'll start attracting the people that you want to attract. And it might take some time, but being mainstream isn't necessarily a good thing, because when people are always looking for the next thing, and when you're mainstream, they hear you on the radio, but then okay, they've heard you a million times, but then then what next is coming up? Okay, let's go on to the next thing. That's kind of, I think, the audience here in the United States tends to be fickle that way, where, you know, they'll like something now, but then, you know, what are you going to do for me tomorrow? You know, it might be somebody else. So, but if you stick to your core audience and you just be yourself, and you're making the music that you want to attract that type of fan base, you know, you can have a long career, because you're going to always attract that person, and they're going to stick with you through thick and thin, and you're not going to necessarily be what's next, you know, or, you know, what's the next big thing. They're going to stick with you.
Right. That's definitely right, man. You definitely got to be yourself and be committed to being yourself and being consistent with being yourself, and don't stray away. You know, there's a lot of people saying that, oh yeah, I want to hear this up tempo. I want to hear you on this. I want to get you here. I want to do this. I want to do. But you want to be satisfied with your music also. You know what I mean? You don't just want to be putting anything everybody else like, because what I'm starting to find out is the people might like what you like a little bit more than people criticizing and telling you to, you know, be a certain way and make a certain type of sound and make a certain type of music. And, you know, that's a big headache anyway. For me anyway. I don't listen to people. You know, when people tell me to make a certain type of song, I stray away from the whole conversation. You know what I mean? I kind of tune that out. You know what I mean? And not to be, you know, an asshole, or, you know what I mean, to be, you know, a little bit what is it called, arrogant. I'm not to be arrogant, but it's like I kind of know my sound. You know what I mean? So it's like the perfect beat for the sound, or the vibes, or the up tempo of my flow at that point in that song is what I try to perfection. You know what I mean? I try to have perfection on the sound and my flow. You know what I mean? More than anything, like I don't get too blindsided by what, you know, people want to hear, because you got billions of people in this world. You know what I mean? Within the music, you be yourself. It's a win-win situation. You can't lose.
So what do you want to do next? I mean, what, now that you had this release, and, you know, I know you're always working, you're always doing something new. So what can we expect, you know, after this, and what kind of vibe are we going to hear?
You know, that's a good question. I have a album. My first debut album is it's titled Ease the Pain. I'm working on that, you know, every day. I freaking wrote 32 songs for this album when I'm only putting out 12. So I got a job here to do it. So it's like it gets real busy for me, but that's mainly what I'm working on right now. My first album, titled Ease the Pain, and that's what I put my time and I put my all into it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get some good videos, you know, venues and all of that still. Of course, you know, you need all of that, but you know, the pandemic's kind of slow it down a little bit, but you know, you can still like I'm doing birthdays. You know, I actually have a DJ. I got a DJ for this lady's birthday coming up. Maybe I think it's New Year's Eve. I have another show in like 3 days on Saturday, where it's an interview. I'll be performing my 2 songs. They'll be all over the gram, of course. You know, I got a couple things going on. Magazines reaching out to me, man. This song Different View has really brought a nice buzz to me already. It's only been 3 days, and you know, on YouTube, you know, the views done ran up to 2K. Confirmation views done ran up to 8.6K in a week. I just dropped that song last week.
I just stick to the script and stick to the code, and now I'm feeling like the confirmation. Look at their face, they probably hating. I don't need them in my conversation. I had to grind for mine. I don't live up to their obligations. I had to grind for mine. Try and get it now, cause I've been waiting. Stick to the script and stick to the code, and now I'm feeling like the confirmation. Look at their face, probably hating. I don't need them in my conversation. I had to grind for mine. I'm getting to the paper like on delay. I had to grind for mine. They want me to fall, they all been waiting. And I don't know what they been talking about. When they be talking, I block them out. They be smelling my aura as soon as I'm walking out. I kill a scene, get the caution out.
The main thing I want to do now is make sure I get some great videos to these songs, man, because, you know, people are really blowing my line up, and there's no over-exaggeration. It's probably a little bit more than I'm actually saying it. But, you know, I like to stay humble and consistent. But, yeah, man, that's so look forward to all of that going on. I'll be posting my events going on, and just gonna make it do what it do, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, and we were talking a little bit about Ease the Pain last time as well. And, you know, one thing again that I'm impressed with is that you have 32 songs and you haven't released it yet, because, you know, you go through a process of making sure that the songs that are on the album are the right songs on the album. So how do you decide what of the 12 songs out of those many songs that you have, you know, do you kind of mix it up, different vibes, or do you want to stick with kind of the same kind of theme throughout the album? I mean, what is your process when you put together an album like that?
That's a good question. Me personally, I can elaborate on the title, Ease the Pain. You know, me personally, to handpick the songs it's a little, it gets a little hard. Like, I can use some help. Can't lie, I can use some help. I might have to call you up one day, like, Dave, man, listen to this, man. I need some help, man. I'm trying to put this on an album.
Well, hey, listen, I'm always here, and I don't hear from you. I don't see that 215 coming up.
Oh, man, I can't lie, man. I've been everywhere like air the past couple months. So it's like, you know, I think the last time I heard from you was summertime. I know it was hot outside.
Yeah, it was summertime. It was. I mean, yeah, I was probably working on my yard outside, but yeah, it was 95 and plus. And I live by you, man. I live in the Philly area, and it was hot. It was hot and humid all summer long, so it was nice. It's nice to have a little cool weather out there.
It was smoking hot.
Yep. Well, man, hey, listen, I want to tell everybody, first of all, where, you know, I know this is your third time, but we have a lot of new listeners. We're on iHeartRadio now, and all the different platforms. So we blew up our numbers as far as listeners go. So let's let everybody know where to find you, because I know that you got like a one-stop shop to kind of find everything and all your music, right?
Yeah, of course. You can Google my name. That's the easiest way. But, you know, I'm on 34 different platforms right now, from freaking TikTok to Shazam to Amazon Music. It's a lot of them, man. YouTube, iTunes, Tidal, Napster, a lot of them. It's a lot of them. Yeah, you can just about, but the easiest way to just Google my name, Jimmi, space EZZ. You know, simple and plain. Jimmi EZz, man, all major platforms. But yeah, that's the easiest way. You can just Google my name and it pops right up. My Survival EP, the last EP I just dropped, that picture actually pops up with my face above. Well, kind of blended in the Jersey Bridge right there.
Your graphics are amazing.
Yeah. I make them all myself, man. I actually make them myself. I mean, it would be nice to have somebody, you know, help me out, but I feel like I'm trying to paint a picture here, so it's like it'd be more. It would be more accurate if I do it myself. You know what I mean?
I do a lot of my graphics myself as well, and I just, you know, nobody's going to know more than you what you want to come across as on your photos, because I think photos are important, you know, as far as marketing goes. And as we always talk about business on our show, and that's one of the things. I think marketing, you know, nobody's going to know more than yourself. And I see a lot of marketing out there, a lot of pictures that are great and they're crisp and they're clear and whatever, but you know, they don't really fit the person you know, the music. So I think with you, it does. You know, you're very unique, you know, as your artwork shows, and your music is unique. And, you know, like I said, all my listeners need to go out there, download Jimmi EZz music, and and you're not going to be disappointed. The new one, Different View, and so I want to make sure everybody goes and gets that one, and Confirmation. A lot of good music out there for Jimmi EZz, so make sure you check him out. And Jimmy, man, we got to talk more often, man. Now we're talking about videos. Hopefully this pandemic goes away sooner than later. We can actually go out with a crew and not have to worry about the pandemic. So we just make sure everybody stays safe, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. But again, you're always welcome on this show anytime, and come back just to chat sometime.
I'm coming back, man. I can't stay away too long, man. I can't stay away too long. I'm gonna show right back up like a fungus.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, man, take care. I love to your family, and stay safe, and good luck with the music, and we'll talk soon, and we'll make sure our listeners go upload and download and everything else with your music. So let's do this thing.
Oh yeah, man. You stay safe too, man. Likewise, man. It's all love, man. You already know. Appreciate you let me be back on your show again, man. Dave Hondel, man, you the best.
You are too, man. Thanks, Jimmy, and take care.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Through my set of eyes, take a look at life from a different view. Seen a lot of life I'm still living through.